This video is going to go over days 1 and 2 of weeks 13 through 16 of the Advanced Baseball program. Most of the exercises we're going to go over today are going to be exercises we haven't touched on in previous videos, or they're going to be variations of exercises we've already done. So the first exercise we're going to go over today is safety squat bar iso holds. I'm going to demonstrate how to set up and perform the exercise with a regular barbell, because chances are you won't have a safety squat bar available to you in your gym. If you do, great, go ahead and use it. If not, you can do this exercise very easily with a regular bar. So the first thing you're going to notice is the bar is set up fairly high. You want to start this exercise in the half squat to quarter squat position. The weight that's going to be used for this is going to be an RPE 9 off of your regular squat. And because we're starting our squat so high, that weight should be relatively easy to move. Okay, the other thing you're going to notice here is the top safety pins are set up relatively close to the bar. That's so when we do squat, we don't smash the bar into the safety pins. All right, all we're focusing on here is exerting maximal force into the pins once we touch them. So in order to do this exercise, we're going to set up just like this, get into position, and then we're going to push the bar into the top pins, and we are going to try to attempt to squat the entire rack up. The purpose of this exercise is to produce as much force as possible into those top pins, holding for the allotted time. The second exercise I'm going to go over is single leg glute medius hip extensions. Now in order to do these, you're going to need a band that's going to be fairly heavy, like this. And you also want it to have quite a bit of tension on it. I'm not going to put a ton of tension on this band for the demonstration purposes of the video, but know that you need to put quite a bit when you do it for the program. So we're going to set the band up just like this, right about hip height. You're going to take the band and put it, your glute medius is right here on the side of your hip. We're going to put the band right here. From this position, you are going to come up off the floor, and it will be easier if you have something on this side to hold. You're going to let the band push your hip back, and then you are going to drive your hip into the band. So once again, we're going to let the band push our hip back, drive our hip into the band. Push back, drive into the band. The area you are looking to target with that exercise is this right here. The third exercise is going to be oblique bench side presses. So in order to do that exercise, you are going to have to set up a bench, just a regular bench, just like this. We're going to either take a kettlebell, a plate, anything you want to press. You're going to lean off the side of the bench, and you're going to hook your feet, one side with your heel, one side with your toes, to the opposite side of the bench. From right here, we press out to the side. My recommendation for this exercise is to start fairly light because it is a difficult exercise, and it's probably going to take a little bit of a learning curve in order to get your feet under the bench correctly. And then the last exercise on day 1 is going to be the mobility work, which is going to be leg lifts over blocks. So you can use yoga blocks, you can use plates, you can use whatever you want. Basically, you're going to get to the same position you normally would with the quadruped cars that you did earlier in the program. Except now, instead of rotating the knee, what we are going to do is put the leg straight out, lift it up as high as we can, bring it all the way over the block, and then back. And again, whenever you do exercises like that, keep it very slow, very controlled, and stay as tight as you can the whole time. From day 2, we start off with windmills. So you're going to take a kettlebell, you're going to push it straight up into the air. Now for windmills, we're going to take a wide stance, we're going to push the kettlebell up. From this position, we're going to take our opposite hand and use it to guide us on the inside portion of that same side leg. So from here, we're going to use this, and we are going to rotate this way, and then back to the top. Once again, kettlebell overhead, hand on the inside portion of my leg. I'm going to use it as a guide, and I'm going to rotate. Now, the main thing here is we want to create the rotation through the thoracic spine. You should not feel the rotation being created through your lower back. If it is, you need to not go quite as far rotating. The second exercise for day 2 is going to be SpiderMan yoga push-ups. So yoga push-ups are pretty self-explanatory. Basically going to be here in this position. We're going to come down and then back up. Down and then back up. For SpiderMan yoga push-ups, we're going to start in the same position, but as we come down, we are going to bring our leg in front of us and then come back up, or to the side of us, excuse me. So down, leg in, back up. The third exercise is going to be one arm, low pulley, rotational rows. I'm going to demonstrate how to do this using a band. Just know that during the program, I want you to use a cable similar to the one you would use for a seated row from the floor. So for a low pulley row, or one arm low pulley rotational rows, we're going to start here with our hand going across. We're going to allow the band to pull us and rotate us this way, and then we are going to rotate and pull, just like that. Now, main thing here is the band or the cable, my arm, everything stays straight. I'm not pulling in to my body this way with my arm wrapping around. I'm here and pulling straight this way. The fourth exercise for day 2 is going to be Westside Pushups. Now, Westside Pushups is going to be set up exactly like this, just like you did for the glute medius, hip extension. With this, you're going to be doing push-ups actually on the band. So we're going to set up in position here. We're going to go down and then push back up. Down and then push back up. Depending on how much you weigh, that's going to be how heavy of a band you need. Depending on your level of strength, that's how heavy of a band you're going to need. If you weigh more, you need a bigger band. If you're weaker, you need a bigger band because it won't wobble as much. And then the last exercise on day 2 is going to be overhead PVC press. So we're going to come back to the bench we used for the side bench oblique press. We're going to lay in a supine position, head hanging off the bench, arms a little bit wider than our shoulders. We're going to bring the PVC pipe to the squat position and then back up. Now, to make this exercise harder, all you need to do is move your hands in. The closer in your hands get, the more difficult that exercise will be.